Which is better, the Samsung Galaxy A10e or the Coolpad Legacy? Well, in this video, we're going to find out. Follow me on Instagram at KevinBreezeTV. Please join the Kevin Breeze Tech community on Facebook to chat about budget smartphones, ask questions, and help others. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, coming at you with my comparison video between the Samsung Galaxy A10e and the Coolpad Legacy. Now both of these devices are Metro by T-Mobile phones, so if you go into your local Metro by T-Mobile store or dealer and you want to get a new device, you're going to be presented with both of these phones as options. So you'll have to decide what you want to go with, and the idea of this video is to make that decision easier. Now these phones have the same exact retail price of $179.99, but pretty much nobody is going to be paying that price because whether you're upgrading, porting in from another carrier, or creating a new line, you're going to be getting some sort of discount. Now I know that with the port-in, both of these phones are definitely free, and I believe that at the moment they're both free if you create a new line. But I might be wrong about that because promotions are always changing at Metro, and it really depends on when you're watching this video. So definitely go into your local Metro by T-Mobile location to see what the current deals are for these phones. But the point is that with either phone, you're probably going to get a pretty good deal, and I can't imagine that you spend any more than $100 on either of these. Now there are some pretty major differences in design of these two devices. As you can see, with the Galaxy A10e, we have a teardrop notch on the top, kind of a newer trend that we're seeing with more and more budget phones. But with the Coolpad Legacy, we're getting a more traditional design with no notch at the top and decently thick bezels on the top and bottom. Now with the A10e, we do have a little bit of a bezel on the bottom, but overall you're getting a better screen to body ratio with the A10e. Now the Samsung Galaxy A10e features a 5.83 inch display at 720p with a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio. And with the Coolpad Legacy, we're getting a much larger display at 6.36 inches with 1080p as the resolution and an 18 by 9 aspect ratio. So not only is the display in the Coolpad Legacy bigger, but the actual resolution of it is much better than that with the A10e. Now, the good news though is that with both phones, you're getting very good looking displays, so it doesn't really matter which device you go with. I think you'll be very happy with the pixel density as well as the clarity of these displays because both of them look very clear, they both have very good colors, and they're both going to give you a really good viewing experience for browsing the web and watching video content. Having a larger display with the Coolpad Legacy will give you a better experience just because things will be a bit larger, but if you're more into having a smaller device that's more pocketable, then the A10e might be the best choice for you. Now up top here, both phones feature front-facing cameras. The Galaxy A10e is a 5 megapixel front-facing camera, and the Coolpad Legacy is a 13 megapixel front-facing camera. Both devices feature 32 gigabytes of internal storage with microSD card expansion. Neither of these two devices have wireless charging, and there's no fingerprint sensor on the Galaxy A10e, but on the Coolpad Legacy, we do have a fingerprint sensor. So we'll try that out right now. And as you can see, that was very quick and accurate with using the fingerprint sensor on the Coolpad Legacy. Now on the backside of these two devices, on the Samsung Galaxy A10e, we have an 8 megapixel rear camera with just a single camera there. And with the Coolpad Legacy, we have a dual camera setup with a 16 megapixel main camera and a 5 megapixel depth sensing camera. The Samsung Galaxy A10e features 2 gigabytes of RAM, and we get 3 gigabytes of RAM with the Coolpad Legacy. We have the Samsung Exynos 7884 processor with the A10e, and the Coolpad Legacy has the Qualcomm Snapdragon 450 processor, which is the same processor that's found in the LG Stylo 5. Now video recording on both phones maxes out at 1080p at 30 frames per second. With the Samsung Galaxy A10e, we're getting a 3000 mAh internal battery, and with the Coolpad Legacy, we're getting a much larger internal battery at 4000 mAh. We also get Qualcomm Quick Charge 3.0 with the Coolpad Legacy. Both devices run Android 9 Pie. Now with the A10e, we are getting Samsung skin on here and quite a bit of Samsung bloatware such as the Galaxy Store, Samsung Notes, and other things too. But the good news is that the actual skin itself is very well optimized to perform well, so performance will not be an issue at all. Now with the Coolpad Legacy, we mostly get a stock Android experience here, and there have not been too many changes implemented to the operating system here. Now later on in the video, we will be doing a speed test comparison between these two devices, but in the meantime, I wanted to show you the actual benchmark scores that I was able to get when running the AnTuTu benchmark. Now I understand that benchmark testing doesn't necessarily have anything to do with actual real-world performance, which is why later on in the video, I will be doing a head-to-head comparison, but I just wanted to show you these scores. So with the A10e, we're getting 88944, and with the Coolpad Legacy, we're actually getting a slightly lower score at 71585. We especially get a higher score with the CPU score with the A10e, so that's pretty interesting. Now that we've compared the specifications of these two devices, let's take a closer look at the hardware. So I already talked a lot about the front here, but essentially we're getting that teardrop design with the Galaxy A10e, and with the Coolpad Legacy, we get a more traditional design that has no notch at the top. Now, I do like the designs of both devices. I think they both look very appealing in different ways. I especially like how massive the display is on the Coolpad Legacy. That 6.36-inch display really is amazing, and it looks really good. Now, you can see holding the phones up next to each other, lining up the bases of the displays, you can really get an idea of how much larger the Coolpad Legacy's display is compared to the Galaxy A10e. You can see it truly is massive in comparison. So if you really value having a large display, and if you especially want to display at 1080p, then the Coolpad Legacy is the way to go. Now the Coolpad Legacy does have this nice metal band running around the sides of the device, which on the A10e it's plastic, so definitely the quality of the Coolpad Legacy is quite a bit better in my opinion. Now taking a look at the left side of these two devices, all we have is the microSD card and SIM card slot. And then taking a look at the right side here, we have a pretty much identical setup as well with the volume button and power button. Then on the top of the two devices, they both have a noise canceling microphone, but on the Coolpad Legacy, we have a 3.5mm headphone jack. I kind of wish that was on the bottom instead of the top, but it is what it is. Now taking a look in the bottom of these two devices, they both have USB-C for charging and data transfer. They both have a microphone, a speaker, and on the Galaxy A10e, we do have a 3.5mm headphone jack on the bottom. Then taking a look at the back side of the two devices, they both have a reflective material on the back. They both have the cameras, of course, and then on the Coolpad Legacy, we do have that fingerprint sensor. I think I prefer the design of the Coolpad Legacy overall. It definitely feels like it's higher quality than the Galaxy A10e. Let's now do a speed test comparison between these two devices. We're going to start with pulling up the camera. So 1, 2, 3, go. And it looks like the Galaxy A10e was first to pull up the camera, but the Coolpad Legacy wasn't too far behind it. Let's now pull up Google Chrome. 1, 2, 3, go. And it looks like the Coolpad Legacy was first to pull up Google Chrome. Let's now go to yahoo.com. So 1, 2, 3, go. Looks like in this test, the Galaxy A10e was first to pull up Yahoo. Let's go to Engadget.com. 1, 2, 3, go. It looks like Engadget was first to pull up on the Coolpad Legacy, but it looks like both devices are pretty close with the speed of pulling up the website. We'll try out a little bit of scrolling right now. Very smooth on the A10e, and very smooth on the Coolpad Legacy as well. So it looks like both devices are very well optimized for good performance. Of course, there's a little bit of hiccups there when doing the scrolling, but you're going to get that with any low-end budget phone. So I feel like both of these phones have their own pros and cons. With the Coolpad Legacy, you are getting a much larger device with a much bigger display at 1080p. You're also getting better cameras. You're getting an extra gigabyte of RAM, and you're getting 1000 milliamp hours of extra battery capacity. Now with the A10e, you are getting a notch at the top, which I know many people nowadays like a lot. You're also getting a better screen-to-body ratio. It's a little bit more pocketable too, and you're still getting a really good-looking display. Now with the A10e, the camera quality is not going to be as good, and the build quality is not as good, and the display resolution is not as good, but it does seem like the Exynos 7884 processor allows this device to pretty much keep up, if not be faster than the Coolpad Legacy with its Qualcomm Snapdragon 450. So for me personally, if I had to choose one or the other, I would go with the Coolpad Legacy, but I don't think the Galaxy A10e is a bad choice at all. So let me know what you're planning on doing. And I think really it comes down to the price as well. You'll have to see what kind of deals you can get on each of these devices individually. If you can get both of these for free, then I think you'll definitely want to go with whichever one you prefer. But let's say the Galaxy A10e is cheaper than the Coolpad Legacy and you originally wanted to get the Legacy, then I think going with the Galaxy A10e is not a bad choice at all. But I'm really interested to know what you think of these two devices, so let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you work for Metro by T-Mobile and you live in the Phoenix, Arizona area, let me know. I'm always looking to meet new people in the mobile industry. But this is Kevin here. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.